I have Corey Witt, the product marketing manager from Korg. But you're here, we are talking about one of my favorite amp brands, VOX. As someone who owns 4 VOX AC30s, I know I have a problem. I know Corey's going to tell me more about their new releases here, which are very exciting, so take it away, Corey.
First of all, we appreciate that you're a believer. Second of all, we're genuinely excited about this, and I know that everyone says, at NAMM everyone's excited about whatever they're showing, but as kind of guitar nerds, we're all geeking out over how cool this thing is. So AC30 112, clearly the most obvious thing is as a single 12-inch speaker instead of the two 12s. That also brings the weight down quite a bit. So a standard AC30 is almost 71 pounds. This thing is 25 pounds less than that, so it's a little bit more portable. I think the best way to describe it is it's a more straightforward, streamlined, just kind of cut to the chase AC30. So single input instead of the 4-hole input, single top boost channel, master volume, simplified EQ, digital reverb, effects loop. So, yeah.
What kind of, so it's the same complement, it's 4 EL84s. What speaker did you decide to go with?
We actually had
the 112.
We had Celestion build us a custom speaker for this thing right here. So basically, it's going to give you everything that you're familiar with from an AC30.
Right.
So, yeah.
So so this one now with this new setup or topology on it, am I able to sort of crank the gain from the master and also the pre as well?
Absolutely.
I see.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of gain on tap, as they say, but also it can go plenty clean too if you roll the gain back and drive the volume up higher. The EQ is just a bass and treble, so
gotcha.
If you really crank those up, you can kind of almost fake a mid-scoop kind of touch.
Gotcha.
If you pull those way back, it becomes kind of a mid-forward voice. So the versatility in such a simple amp is baffling. And then speaking of baffling, the cab they put it in resonates like a drum.
Right.
So we all sit and play it and just are freaking out about how great this simple amp sounds.
Yeah.
So
I'm able to get all the chiminess that I'm used to from the VOX AC30, and of course it's more flexibility. It's also pedal friendly as well.
It is, and actually, when you talk about the chime and the grind, I know that you're an AC30 fan, so you already like that flavor, right? Which means there's stuff in here that will be really familiar to you. There's a whole nother category of guitar player that is either unfamiliar or they don't love that kind of upper mid-range grind of an AC30, and I truly believe that this will convert some of those players. So it has all the familiar stuff, but it deviates just a little bit outside enough to gather some different players as well.
I love it. I mean, look, anything that's under 30 pounds that I can grab to a gig, it might even be great for a stereo rig as well, just for what it's worth, for its compact size.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. So let's move over now to the next VOX product, which I don't know what other word can describe it, but adorable. but for those who know the Beatles, of course, we have here the VOX Mini Super Beetle amp.
Correct.
So tell us more about this.
So. Yeah, it used to be a really large 100-watt head on top of a really large speaker cabinet.
Yep.
We hit it with our shrink ray gun and brought it down, and now we're calling it the living room stadium rig. So it is spouse-friendly.
Yes.
It can stay out in the living room. But what it really is from a circuit standpoint is it's built on our MV50 platform, which has been really successful for us at VOX. MV50 is based off of new tubes, so has all the dynamic bloom and blossom of a tube amp, and we've expanded that out to add digital reverb and tremolo for the Mini Super Beetle.
Yeah. The one thing I have to say is I fortunately had a chance to actually try this out beforehand, and the first thing that impressed me about this amp was how good the reverb is on this one. It's really it has a little bit of a digital thing to it, but it actually sounds so natural that you kind of get lost in this one.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there are people who they don't like the sound of the words digital reverb, but I'm not sure they could pick it out if it was a tank or digital. These days the digital stuff just sounds so great.
Right.
And it feels really at home
Yeah.
in this little rig right here too.
And you also dialed the tremolo circuit. Actually, you really dialed that in as well. It's a real nice circuit.
Oh
that you're
yeah,
driving
no,
there.
it's kind of warm and it has movement to
Yeah.
it, and the whole thing feels like there's some spatiality to it. I don't know if that's a word. I'm going to say it is. So
Let's work. We'll say spatial. How about that? What about the speaker now? It's one. Is it an 8-inch?
it is.
It is an 8-inch
It
speaker,
is,
right?
yeah. So 8-inch speaker, open back cab, but remember the MV50 has a
Yeah.
deep switch that allows everything to feel like it has a little bit bigger footprint.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So what we were trying to do is have something that sounds really big, but is compact enough for you to have in the office, have in your home, have in the living room, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're a working guitar player or a gigging guitar player, you can take the head off of the cab and use it with any cab that you want, and it sounds like a monstrously big amp
Right.
when it's on a 412.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And one thing I should note that everyone should really note is that although it looks like it's one piece, it's actually a head and a cabinet.
Correct.
There we go.
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean, it's so much fun. If I had a really big desktop, I would have 2 of these on it. But
Right.
I mean,
They're-
I just love it. It
They're
looks
like
great.
bookends. You
Yeah.
know, they're bookends.
I think. I mean, some people can dismiss it as novelty, but I think it's a great amp that looks awesome. As a matter of fact, I would use that as a stereo rig.
You
as
totally
well.
could, yeah.
You know?
And it's a great summer for VOX because
Yeah.
we're going back to some of these things that made us who we are,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
we're proud to show these things at Summer NAMM, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you for showing. Is there any more that we want to talk about?
No, I mean I think we kind of covered the
Cover that?
basics. So
Well, cool. Well, so if I want to find out more information about the AC3112 and the Mini Super Beetle, where go to voxamps.com.
correct, voxamps.com. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, great. And Corey, thank you for coming over here and telling me all about it. And I know there's a whole bunch of other new stuff there, which I'm going to check out as well.
Please
So,
do.
Thanks again. So stay tuned. We got more coming up. That's too bad. I wanted to hear some of that AC.